Hey loser boy, Mommy's going to explain the best filler arc in One Piece for you in just minutes.
Oh my god! Wow!
So just sit back and enjoy. At G-8, the Marines think the base has gone soft, right before the Going Merry literally falls out of the sky and sets off alarms everywhere. While the crew is scattered across the island, Jonathan quickly realizes this isn't some ghost ship at all, but the Straw Hats returning from Skypiea with gold on board. Instead of rushing in, he keeps the ghost story alive and plans a careful search for morning, knowing the pirates could be disguised as Marines. Around the base, everyone is hiding and trying to regroup. Chopper sneaks around in panic. Nami hides the waiver. Sanji gets caught smoking. Zoro nearly gets run over in the water. And Luffy is, of course, wandering around looking for meat. Jonathan ends the episode quietly studying the situation, already starting to piece the whole thing together. The next morning, the Going Merry gets taken deeper into G-8 for inspection, while Jonathan lets in 2 more Marine ships carrying wounded soldiers. Around the base, Nami moves through the halls disguised as a Marine and finds Zoro doing absolutely nothing to stay hidden, so she steals his swords and throws them into a hard-to-reach bush just to keep him occupied. Meanwhile, Sanji and Luffy disguise themselves as cooks and sneak into the kitchen, where Jessica mistakes them for the new chefs from headquarters. Sanji instantly proves he belongs there with actual skill, while Luffy contributes by eating the food that was already made. Somehow, both get accepted. As for Zoro, he manages to recover his swords, falls straight into the sea, and the second he climbs back out, he gets surrounded and captured by Marines. Jonathan starts tightening the net, ordering Drake to interrogate Zoro, but Zoro gives the most insane, truthful answer possible.
I'm gay. Straight up.
They came from the sky in an octopus balloon. Drake, naturally, thinks he's lying. Meanwhile, Nami ends up disguised as a nurse. Chopper gets accidentally shipped to the infirmary in a crate of antlers, and the two reunite just as the base's only doctor, Kobato, proves she faints at basically the concept of medicine. Chopper takes over the surgeries himself and pushes Kobato to finally act like a real doctor, choosing to save the wounded instead of escaping. Drake nearly catches on, but Kobato stands her ground and protects them. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Sanji tries to figure out a way out, only to realize he's not trapped because of Luffy being useless for once. He's trapped because Jessica keeps making him cook. Robin and Usopp discover that the Going Merry has been moved, and while Robin wants to stay calm and figure out an escape plan, Usopp immediately goes full worried dad mode for the ship. Robin spots a Marine officer claiming to be a general inspector, takes him out and steals his uniform so she can move around the base freely. Meanwhile, Luffy blows his cover almost instantly while serving Jonathan lunch, but he and Sanji manage to escape when a crowd of Marines floods the kitchen. Usopp sneaks to where the Merry is being held and runs into Mikal, but gets caught and dragged before Jonathan. In pure Usopp fashion, he lies and pretends to be the new inspector from headquarters, and for a second it actually works. Then Robin walks in disguised as the real inspector and accidentally ruins everything, sending Usopp straight into a cell with Zoro. After that, Robin finds a map of the base and realizes the only real way out is by ship, while Luffy and Sanji head off to break their crewmates out of jail. The Straw Hats sneak back into Navarone to rescue their crew, but Jonathan is already baiting them into a trap. While Mikal inspects the Going Merry, the Marines laugh at the pirates for returning to the same ship instead of stealing a better one. In the prison, Usopp gets a serious warning from the cow. The Merry's patch-up job from Skypiea won't hold forever, and the mast could snap at any time. Meanwhile, Luffy and Sanji finally find the jail, only to realize the bars are made of sea stone. Sanji tries using Usopp's dials to help, but grabs all the wrong ones and triggers an explosion instead. The crew escapes the prison, then immediately gets lost again following Zoro. Solid plan, guys. After freeing Zoro and Usopp, Luffy and Sanji leave poor Shepherd behind, and no one believes he's not Condoriano. Luffy's group gets chased through Navarone, runs into Jonathan, and proudly announces they're escaping with their treasure. Jonathan just laughs and sets a trap at Dock 88, knowing the Straw Hats will head straight for the Mary. Meanwhile, Nami and Chopper escape the clinic with help from Dr. Kobato, who decides to repay them after realizing what being a real doctor means. At the bridge to Dock 88, Unit 55 ambushes the crew, but Luffy's group crushes them and destroys the bridge in the process. They still reach the dock, only to find Jonathan's trap waiting. At Dock 88, Drake's trap finally snaps shut. Guns and flash bombs hit the crew from every side, and when Luffy gets caught in a sea stone net,
Damn!
things get bad fast. Sanji, Zoro, and Usopp are almost forced to surrender. Then Nami, Chopper, and Dr. Kobato roll in with the wildest fake hostage act imaginable, and somehow, it works. Zoro senses the setup, Luffy launches everyone onto the Mary, and Macau quietly helps them drift free. Robin escapes the library and rejoins the crew with a map of Navarone. They blast open the sea gate with the Marines' own cannonballs, only for Nami to realize their Skypiea treasure is gone. Cool, they escaped and got robbed. As the Navy sails through the smoke, Nami makes the call to turn back for the Skypiea treasure. Using the sound of the Marine ship's bells, she guides the Mary through the fog without crashing. Drake reports that the Straw Hats never really escaped, but Jonathan isn't surprised. Of course pirates would come back for gold. As they head toward the base, the crew starts dreaming about what they'd do with the money, and Nami says most of it should go toward finally repairing the Mary. That hits everyone a little harder than expected. Then Luffy, weirdly calm and serious, suggests hiding the Mary among the Navy ships themselves. The crew is stunned that he said something smart for once. And somehow, it works. Usopp splits the crew into two teams, one to recover the stolen gold and the other to get back the waiver. With the Straw Hats moving through the base on separate missions, things immediately get more risky, since one mistake could ruin everything. At the same time, Inspector Shepard decides he's done getting ignored and takes it upon himself to capture Luffy personally, hoping to finally prove who he really is. Nami and Sanji finally track down the waiver hidden in the grass, while the others reach the vault and run straight into Shepard, who pulls out a comically huge bazooka like he's about to end the arc himself. Robin shuts that down instantly by turning it on him and blasting him into the air. After escaping, the crew learns from Macau and Kobato that the gold is probably near Jonathan's office, which means the whole thing is obviously bait. Nami rides the waiver up the cliff to join them, and she and Luffy break into Jonathan's office, where the treasure is waiting. Jonathan's ready for them. Luffy gets caught in a sea stone net again, but Nami wipes out the reinforcements with lightning, and they escape with the gold. The crew regroups on the disguised Mary, thanks the Marines for basically guiding them to the exit, and Jonathan reveals they've walked right into his ultimate trap. Jonathan's final 9 o'clock trap kicks in as the low tide drops and the Going Mary tears open on the rocks below, leaving the Straw Hats stranded in the harbor. Over the loudspeaker, Jonathan proudly declares their escape officially over. But the crew has one last insane plan. They use Usopp's impact dial to launch the ship into the air, then float away with an octopus balloon powered by dials. The Marines prepare to shoot them down, but Shepard fumbles with his bazooka and ends up taking out their own cannon instead. Realizing he's been beaten, Jonathan orders a ceasefire and admits the Straw Hats have won. As the crew sails off through the sunset, Usopp gets to work patching up the Mary again.
Help, I can't